Good evening to you, and welcome to the Today is Your Day show. I'm your host, Jonathan Davis, and I'm so excited and elated that you decided to join us tonight. Listen, you made it to April. Welcome to April. It's April 3rd. We made it. We're in the springtime. So it's time to spring forward with some great things going on in your life. And one of those great things in your life is the Today is Your Day show. And so I'm so excited about our wonderful guest that you will be able to meet in just a few moments, Dr. Kina Arnold, all the way in Chicago. But we are going to see her in just a few. But I definitely wanted to thank you. And I pray that up to this moment, things have been going well. If not, know that things are not going to be horrible all the time. Things are about to turn around in your life. And I pray that something said tonight will prick your heart. Something said tonight will touch you and make you believe that, you know what, things aren't as bad as I thought they were. I should be more grateful in my life. Things could also be worse. And so I'm thankful that you gave us some time. I'm hoping and praying that you get something out of tonight's show. And I'm asking for you to stick around and enjoy. We want to thank and acknowledge our sponsors and partners for the Today is Your Day show, starting with the YouTube channel, The Proclamation 101. I want you to make sure that you check them out every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to the YouTube channel, look up The Proclamation 101, click subscribe and the bell so you don't miss it. Another sponsor is the Young People Nation podcast with the Perrys. They are talking about things that we need to discuss with our young people and what our young people are going through. This is something you don't want to miss every Thursday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on podcast stations. Listen, you can also catch them on YouTube. They have a YouTube and a podcast, so there's no excuse that you can't catch what they have going on and getting that conversation that you need to hear. You want your life, business, or organization and ministry to go to the next level, you need to hit up Davis Consultants. They do branding, life coaching, CEO mentorship, executive coaching, business coaching, and ministry consulting. Listen, you need to hit them up at www.davisconsultantsgroup.com. Take your life, your ministry, your business, and organization to the next level. You don't want to miss out on this in 2024. We want to thank our partners, A Word and a Song. You can catch them every third Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Montre Roberts Facebook page. Again, that's every third Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Montre Roberts Facebook page. I'm so excited to tell you all about my new book. It's called I'm So Grateful, My Weekly Time of Gratitude. It's in Amazon right now. So you all can go to Amazon and find this book. It's going to be an amazing time for you. It's a gratitude journal that goes with you throughout the whole year. I know a lot of times we think about the things in our lives and don't understand that there's so many good things that are actually happening. And this journal will help guide you along that path. It gives you prompts to answer questions about things that you should be grateful for, those things that have maybe happened in that week or that day. Listen, this is the book that you want for this year. I'm so grateful, my weekly time of gratitude. Go to Amazon, check it out, get it for your whole family. I'm telling you, it's going to be a blessing to you and your life. Again, it's called I'm So Grateful, My Weekly Time of Gratitude by Jonathan Davis. I promise you, it's going to bless you. You have a service, a book, a business, a product, an event coming up. You want the world to know about it? Now you need to join me on my new segment, Someone You Need to Know. We'll sit and chat about everything dealing with what you have to offer. You don't want to miss this opportunity. It's a chance for you to get your product, service, business to the world. Because I want to make sure that the world knows you are someone we need to know. DM me or email me to make sure that you are our next guest on this new segment. Hey folks, it's your favorite business and life coach and NLP, Jonathan Davis. It's April. We are fully in. We are fully in this big month, but I don't want you to allow your small thinking to keep you from all the great things that are going to happen for you in April. There are going to be opportunities. There are going to be open doors. There are going to be dreams made in April. Don't allow your mind to hold you back from thinking that you can't achieve goals. You can't go after opportunities. You don't have what it takes, because you do. And I'm telling you, they're going to come after you in April. But you got to have that yes. You got to have that ready. And you have to have your things together, because when opportunity meets preparation, the dream happens. The dream happens. So don't miss it. Don't miss it in this huge month. Just walk in expectation, but also do your part to make sure that you are ready. All right, remember, today is your day. We want to thank and acknowledge our sponsors and partners for the
I'm Eugene Perry
I'm Donna Perry, and we're the host
of Young People Nation
podcast.
We know that mental health is way too stigmatized. Young people are hurting. They are in dark places, just wanting to feel heard.
That's why we're bringing no judgment conversations with the guests who have been there, done that, and want to share their experiences in an environment with transparency, healing, and safety.
So tune in and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And just remember,
there's always hope.
There is always hope, and I hope that you are ready to enjoy an amazing show. I am so honored that the amazing, the great, the wonderful Dr. Kina Arnold said yes to giving her time to the Today Is Your Day show. I want to welcome you, Dr. Arnold, on this wonderful Wednesday evening. I want you to let the audience know. I mean, I know all these great things. Yes, I know all these great things about you, but I want you to get a chance to truly express and share with the audience who you are and all that you do.
So I'm Kina, Dr. Kina or Attorney Kina, depending on which sphere I'm in. I've been a practicing attorney for almost 29 years. I'm coming into that. 29 years. My primary focus in practice is abused and neglected children. Can you hear me okay? Is that coming through? Good? Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. We're having wonderful bad weather here in Chicago in the middle of April, a snowstorm. So there's some interference. So let's see. I am an author of 3 books. I just released my latest book about a week ago. I'm very, very excited because it's my first children's book. I also teach with Eagles International Training Institute. I have taught the area of pageantry from a Greek and a Hebraic Jewish ancestral perspective, but also Christian perspective for the now Levite. And so I teach that class with Eagles International, and I've taught that class, I think, for about 8 years now. Let's see. I am a fur mom, a very proud fur mom. And for those who are friends with me, you know about Lady Zoe's Chronicles. So Lady Zoe, she's right now asleep, thank God. And hopefully she will sleep through this podcast as mommy has been working all day and has had no time to play, which she does demand. I am married of almost 14 years to Gino Arnold. Big G is what I call him. So if you hear me refer to a person by the name of Big G, I'm talking about my husband. And we're just living life and doing ministry together. Um, he's teaching concealed carry classes and has launched out into those business streets as he is a retired law enforcement agent now. So if you need law enforcement training, not law enforcement training, I'm sorry, concealed carry training, please DM me and I'll connect you with my husband in that regard. So always supporting him in his endeavors. He does the same for me. And I think that's about it, but I'm sure there's a whole bunch that I'm leaving out. So I'll be quiet.
I know you do a whole lot. But you know what? We're going to get to your books because I definitely want to have the audience talk about that. But I wanted to jump on that because I talk to couples all the time. And the first thing that jumped out to me is you talked about, how you and your husband do ministry together. And that is actually pretty huge. And I talk to couples, very uncommon. Why do you feel that is? Why do you feel doing ministry together is so uncommon amongst couples? Or maybe you may not think it is.
I'm not sure why it would be uncommon. I think you have to have a common ground of support. And you have to find balance. I'm not always good with balance. Let me just say, I'm not always good with it. Sometimes I overindulge and I'm focused and tunnel vision and I'm moving. And he's like, hey, hello, you're married, and so I have to take it back a notch and not do so much. So I'm not sure why couples don't do ministry together. I find it an excellent idea. I find it an excellent way for you to share common ground, for you to share ideas, for you to support each other's ideas, for you to support each other's crazy ideas, to have feedback that's honest and true. Maybe some couples don't want to be honest with each other. We don't have that difficulty. Now, there might be difficult conversations, but we don't have difficulty in communicating our dreams, goals, and plans, and supporting each other in those endeavors.
Do you find that it is being a married couple or being in a relationship regardless, that having tough conversations are too tough sometimes to have? Like, why do you feel that, couples don't have them? They'll rather hide under the rug or, just keep moving.
I think self-preservation is an instinctive way that I think any human being acts or reacts to events, circumstances, or situations. And I think I'm going to preserve whatever respect, esteem, nostalgia, or I'm just going to protect me. And that's an innate, I think, first response to all things. When you're in marriage, you don't get to do that. And if it's fight or flight, that's not necessarily a good relationship that's going to be healthy in the long run for anybody. There has to be an ability to sit down and talk things out, whether you write them out or you talk things out. You have to be, and I agree, Ms. Perry, you have to be honest with self. And I think a lot of people are not honest with themselves. They're not honest about dreams, goals, and plans that they had that they sacrificed and decided not to do or not to move forward out of fear or whatever the case may be, or they blame someone else for stopping them. I talk to my young clients all the time about woulda, coulda, shoulda committees. Every street corner in every society, I don't care what ethnic group you belong to, has a woulda, coulda, shoulda committee. I would have, I could have, I should have, but for this person, that situation, that circumstance. You're always going to have something that blocks you. Always. I have not experienced anything that I've gone after that you don't have some type of obstacle or hill or valley. It may be small, maybe large, it doesn't matter. But the tenacity to keep pressing forward is what you need to do. And so I think couples don't have those real conversations because honestly, they haven't had those real conversations with themselves, let alone the God that we serve, let alone allowing Holy Spirit to be the mirror. And so if you can't do those introspective things, you're definitely not going to do it with another human being looking back at you.
Do you feel if they continue that, and I'm sure many do, that it diminishes the relationship, or there's just always that barrier or wall that says, you know what, we can only go get this close or this far in our relationship, even if been married for years?
Yeah, I think it's both. Yeah, I think it's both and. For me personally, hitting a wall and never going past that wall is problematic because there's no growth. The reason why you prune a rose, even if it's on a vine, is because there has to be continual growth. If you don't prune the rose, the vine is going to eventually die. The vine is not going to grow, and there's going to be no maturation of it. So that, to me, is a part of pruning, or I would view it as pruning. And so I want to grow. I want to fly. I want to do it all. And I can't do it not being honest with myself and not being honest with the one that I'm in covenant with. That's not acceptable for me. For others, it may be acceptable. And if that's an acceptable life for you, then who am I to say that it's bad or good? I just know that I couldn't live that way.
Why do you think we battle with being honest with ourselves?
Why do I think it broke up a bit?
Why do you think we battle with being honest with ourselves?
It's painful. It's painful. It's not comfortable. You have to look at your flaws. You have to really acknowledge who you were in that situation, who you desire to be, and how far in between those two spectrums are. I see someone says insecurities. Absolutely. But I think it's painful to really recognize that you're not perfect. You're not perfect. As much as you want to believe you're perfect, you're not. And so you have things that you need to work on. Everybody does. And anybody who says they don't, they're lying. Real simple.
I found out, I know this may come to a shock of many. I found out I wasn't perfect maybe just a couple of years ago. And I thought, wow, I did start telling myself, you get to a place sometimes where you could be so people pleasing and appeasing to others that you forget who you are. And if you forget who you are, how can you be honest with you? I started asking myself, you know what?
Yeah.
You really don't like this or that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I used to be that chameleon. Depending on which person I was with, depending on which group I was with, I was a different person. That is tiresome. That's just too much energy. Trying to please all these different people, and they could care less. They could care less. You are not on their mind at all. Right. And you just, running around literally with with your head cut off, trying to please this person or that person. So yeah. Sorry, Jonathan, you're not perfect.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm learning. I'm getting close to it. I don't.
It's okay.
You are.
Yeah.
I'm getting close to it again.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We're going from glory to glory here. We're going from glory to glory. Andre says you can lose yourself in someone.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You're letting other people define who you are. You're letting other people write your story, your chapters, yeah, your footnotes even. You're letting someone else decide who you are, who you show up as, and who you shall be. That's not the way God has intended us to live. Not at all.
Mm-hmm. My prayer says the older you get, the more you are.
This is what you get.
Listen, it's perfection over here. Well, close to it. I'm like, I'm
Close
like
to
right
it.
there,
Yeah.
right there, right there. It's okay. I know there's haters in the comment section, definitely Devonna Davis, but it's okay. She's gonna get there. We're gonna keep praying her, pray her strength up. You said you talked about something that we had talked about on a prayer live yesterday with Reset Church. We talked about balance, and balance is so important. I cheer, and I definitely want you to share. I cheer that for me, a lot of times with people, see, we're praying for her, find Jesus. But besides that, um, we find that for Jonathan, within his strive for perfection, I want things perfect. Also, I want to get things done. So I'm all in. So I work for myself. So a lot of times my balance is off when it comes to sleep. Like I'll be on my computer all night trying to get stuff done or work. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I should get a couple hours. But that's not healthy. And I said, with that lack of balance, I'm
Yeah.
on my computer and not sleeping. So my work's gonna lack because I haven't gotten a good amount of sleep. So I'm not giving 100. Cognitively, I'm low on battery life over here, so it's like, how do you define or help someone deal with balance?
I think for me, I'm trying to move so I have a better signal. So I'm moving.
Okay. It's okay.
We're like the Ark of the Covenant. We're moving. Um, for me, balance is different. It's evolving differently. Um, the more that the more that we engage in this covenant experience that me and my husband are having, it's becoming more and more. Uh, I have to be more intentional about it.
Mhm.
It doesn't just happen. I would say that it doesn't just happen. And so like actually making date time, actually buying tickets and scheduling that within both of our schedules. Actually having more than just pillow talk, right? Intimacy is necessary, but it needs to be genuine and authentic. Um, Balancing for me is actually saying no to some things. So, like, I wasn't feeling well, right? And I know that we were supposed to do this last week. And, it was great that you made contact. And I said, you know what? I could press through. I could actually press through and do it, right? But that wouldn't be healthy for me. And so the balance is saying, hey, can we reschedule? And you agreeing to reschedule was perfect. But had you not agreed to reschedule, then it would have been a no for me. Why? Because I needed to take time to take care of myself physically, right? So that's the same within my marriage. That's the same with anything else. My work life can be a takeover process. Some weekends and some days, and so I have to turn off the phone, not literally turn it off, but turn it off where I'm not taking a client's call.
Mhm.
I'm not doing any work with regards to my legal life on purpose, because if I don't, it'll take over. So balance for me changes day to day, but nevertheless I do have to be intentional. So I would say balance, you have to be intentional as to creating the balanced life that you want. Because if you don't, you will be up all night on the computer and like, oh my gosh, I've drank 10 cups of coffee. Now I can't go to sleep. And then
Right.
you're crashing afterwards. And that's not a healthy thing to do either.
Mm. Donna Pierce says, yes, intentional, paying attention, spending quality time. and having that time on purpose,
Yes.
classes,
On
Spelman
purpose.
says,
Yes, Miss Classy.
I don't think
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
it's really a daily thing that you have to do. And I don't think people really understand how you
Mhm.
can be unbalanced so easily.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. I've been there. It's real easy to do.
um I'll say this and then we'll move to something else. I just feel like, a lot of times people, like, I'm trying to get that money. They give a lot of their time to their job, but then what we shared yesterday is like, you're giving so much time to this one thing, there's always going to be something lacking. So if you're married, it's your spouse. If
Yes.
you're, married with children, you have your children, and your spouse is getting neglected. If it's just your health.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that I'm talking, preaching to the choir here too, and to myself, that you only have this one life to live. You only have this one body. The work, they'll be there tomorrow. It will be there tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, or they'll move Susie or Jack in your place and say, Kina was a good person. She did good work, but here's her files, and here's her court log, and have at it. You know,
Yeah.
that's it. That's all. Mhm.
Correct. Okay, so I've we have talked about those things. I want to get to your books. Let's work backwards. So let's start with your first one.
Okay. So my very first book is called The Priesthood of the Dance, and it's a dance manual that was created for the dance minister. And so what it has evolved in its third edition, working on the fourth edition, is that every 2 or 3 years between that time, God gives me downloads and revelation of different things that I think a dance minister should know, or just a worship arts minister should know. And so it has evolved in not just being for the dance minister, it has evolved into a manual for the minister of arts. And so, how that book even came to be was I was asked randomly, nevertheless intentionally, by one of my big sis who is an apostle in Florida, and she was having a conference. This was on or about maybe 2004, 2005-ish, somewhere in there. And she said, "Hey, I'm gonna fly you down. I want you to teach this class, and it can be an introductory to dance." And so I was like, "Oh gosh, okay." So I'm a bit anal, and so I just started writing, and I created an outline for the class, and was the beginning of the book. I had no intentions of publishing. Never thought of myself as an author. Never desired to be an author. But I saw a need. So during that time, I bought up every dance book I could find on the ministry of dance. My manual does not reflect any of those books. I may include some of the information from some of those books, but it doesn't look like any of those books. And so there was a niche that I felt was missing. So with the priesthood of the dance, you don't have to call me to come and teach it. You can use the manual. A 7-year-old can use the manual. A regular Sunday school teacher can use the manual. You don't have to have any expertise to use the manual, and learn from it and teach from it, and have Bible studies with the ministers of arts in your local community. And so that's the way it's set up. And so it was published in 2007. And so now we're on the third edition. And so soon you'll have a fourth edition, and it'll have some additive things in there.
That's
So
pretty
it
awesome.
just keeps building. It just keeps building. So yeah.
Let's go back. You said something that really stuck out to me that I try to teach and preach to people, that, you know, I believe that, God has called us all to do something. And I think that we can always find something to do that um, can be monetized. And what I teach and preach and, scream to the mountaintops is you will always have money if you can find what there is a need of and how you serve.
Yeah.
And that's what, and
Yeah.
when you said that comment, I was
Yeah.
like, yes, find out what the need
Yeah.
is.
You have to do the work.
Hmm.
Some things are not just going to drop out the sky. I remember when I was modeling. Oh, I didn't add that in. I was a professional model for a black hair care company for many moons. I was actually a poster girl. I had a poster. um, but the need for you to do the work, meaning that you're just not going to walk down the street and someone's going to snap you up and you're going to be Iman, right? You might have to work out. You might have to pay some money into investing yourself and get some pictures and do some investments. Everybody doesn't have that instant found experience. That is a rarity. And so a lot of people don't want to do the work that it requires. They want someone else to do the work and then they get the glory. And that's not how this works. Faith without works is what? Dead.
Yeah,
So
right.
you can have faith all day. Faith is good. But if you're sitting on your laurels and not doing anything with your faith, not activating your faith, not walking out the scriptures in your daily life, not manifesting those things that are true and honest to you and your gifts and callings and talents, then that's what you're going to get. You're just going to be sitting on your laurels and not having anything to manifest from having that great faith. I think you said something in your opening about you actually talked about it in your opening about putting in that work. Today is your day. This might be your day, but you've got to do some work to make it happen.
I think we in this life of, and I don't want to sound like this life of social media, but I think putting in hard work and really going after things and really taking time to study and learn, and I think people feel like that is a time of the past, and it's like because what you all don't understand is like something may be a fad today and it's gone tomorrow. But those that
Indeed.
have put the work in, and it's like, okay, you know what? I have this. I feel like God downloaded this idea to me. Okay, now what do I do with it? All right, well,
Right.
there's a process. There's a process.
Yeah. Yeah, there definitely is. We were talking before, and I was telling you, like, I have not done my show. Um, I guess it's coming up on a year that I have not done intimate conversation, his bride's intimate conversations, and it wasn't because I lost interest or anything of that nature. It happened organically, and I shifted.
Hmm.
It's real simple, and so people can go to my YouTube page and look at all of the different shows, and we did some good work. I'm very proud of the 2 years that we were on air. Very, very proud of it. And we'll come back. Stay tuned. But when I stopped having fluidity of ideas for the show, and it became like such a push or a forceful experience, when I knew it was time to shift. Doesn't mean that God won't turn me back and we'll go down that path again, which I believe he will, and it's coming soon. But at the same time, like we were talking at the top of the hour, talking about obstacles. There were no obstacles that I had. It was just I was shifting. And you have to flow with the shift. And for me in my life, I'm not good at that. I'm becoming better, but I'm not good at that. That perfection thing. I'm not all the way there yet. But I'm learning how to shift and be okay with it. Be okay with it. The shifting from one thing to another when I finish something and then to start another project, that's okay. It's okay to shift and to have other interests and greater interests and maybe pivot right back to the other interests that you had put to the side. And that's what I likely will do. When it'll happen, not sure. But I'm good if it does, and I'm good if it doesn't.
Um, I liked when you were talking about, let me try to put in different words. You talked about how you were doing the show, and I wanted you to share people what the show is, how it got started, and all those things. But when when it's time to let it go, at least for a season. And I think a lot of times, and I think I've talked about this on the show before with others, and I love to get people's perspective on this. It's like, when do you know it's time? Okay, this season may be up for now. This season may be up for good. Like, when do you know that? Or whatever this is for a season
Yeah.
or for forever is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. When you stop.
You really have to be in tune with how God speaks to you. I don't know any other way to be. How God speaks to you. There may be intermittent things that He desires you to do. And it doesn't mean that He's stopping you from doing something else. It just means you need to shift and do this or to do that. For me, when the show actually happened, I was doing private book reviews, if you will, with some of my readers from His Bride. And His Bride, I am His and He is mine. And I think there was about eight or nine people in the Bible, not in the Bible study, but in the book review, book club, if you will. And we had one session, and that session was amazing. It was amazing. And one of the readers was like, Kina, we should go live. I was like, what do you mean go live? She's like, this is where my ignorance was. What do you mean go live? And she's like, go live like on Facebook. And then people could call in or people could write in and talk about what we're talking about, because I think people need to hear it. I'm like, really? Oh, okay. So I did it because she thought it was a great idea. And from that moment, we did once a month on the last Tuesday of each month. And that's how that happened. It did not happen because I forced it. It did not happen because I wanted it to happen. It happened because out of request. And then when we did the first show, I was like, oh, okay. Then we did the second show. I was like, And we did 2 years of shows. 2 years of shows later. And we talked about everything. We talked about infertility from the black man's perspective. Not from the woman's perspective, but from the black man's perspective of having your wife go through that process and what that feels like from a man's perspective. Because guess what? There were no articles I could read up on it. Why? Because in the medical industry, obviously, they don't care about what the man has to say, let alone a black man. So we talked about it. We talked about relationship, courting versus dating. What does that really look like? I called a song the 2021 famous booty call song. I'm gonna leave the door open. If you listen to the words, it's basically a booty call song, and so that's what we called it. We had honest conversations, and what I did was I just invited people who were in certain categories or spheres to have knowledge of understanding. So for that show, I had singles on. For the intimate conversation about infertility from the black man's perspective, I had all black men who were husbands, whose wives, including my own husband, went through infertility processes, in vitro, and all those things. And they talked about it and they were honest about it. But one of the major things that I always wanted to have was balanced conversation. So while we have the regular people talk, and I'm saying regular people or just, just people talking, we also had two therapists, one doctoral level and one practicing therapist. And they were always on the calls with us to give us a therapeutic, mental health, foundational balance. There you go again, balance. With any conversation that we have, we talked about sex trafficking, we talked about suicide. I mean, we talked about a arrayment of things. And for me, being transparent from my own perspective, because I'll talk about me and I'll put my business out in the street. I never put anybody else's business out on the street. So I never want to be the gossip show. I never want to be spilling the tea on something that I heard or something someone told me, very salacious. That wasn't my focus. My focus was having real conversation with real people about real issues that impact our community. And so those are some of the things that we did, and I'm very proud of the work that we did, and we'll do some more work. We'll see.
That's awesome. And you said the reason that you stopped was because you said God stopped with ideas.
I stopped having a fluidity of ideas. And for me, I am a seer. I'm a dreamer. Mm-hmm. And I have like probably 3 or 4 different notebooks, and they all have different information in them. And I actually journaled throughout those 2 years. So for every show, I journaled. I have a journal book for those 2 years.
Wow.
And I should take a look at it and see what I wrote. But I wrote down guests. I wrote ideas about what the flyer should look like, who I should market the flyer to. Just those business, and I know Jonathan, just those business ideas of what you want the show to be. And so I would journal that for every show, and I would be 3 and 4 months in advance of every show. So that means the flyers were coming out because they were already made. They were already, I already had the guests, and had the guests recommit, right? Mm-hmm. So if I needed to shift and bring somebody else in, or not bring anybody else in to take their place, I could do that. I had time to do that. So it was not a frustrating experience at all, but I did. I shifted, and we started focusing on some other things that I was passionate about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share that because I want people to understand and be okay with, yes, I was doing something, it was going well, but, mm-hmm. maybe God said, not right now anymore. And that's okay. Don't feel like you have failed or, God told me to do this, mm-hmm. so I got to keep doing this until I'm 100 years old. It's like, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Right.
Time and season.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm sure got to give you a green light again. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're totally accurate. There's a time and a season for everything. Ecclesiastes tells us that all the time. There's a time and a season for everything. Mm-hmm. Everything under the sun. And so going back to what we were talking about before, understanding how God speaks to you. And even for me right now, that's shifting. I'm like, no, go back to the way you talked to me before. Mm-hmm. But right. he's trying to get me to a different space, and I gotta flow with it. I can't go up against it and constantly fight against it. I definitely have to flow with it, and so we're trying to flow right now. We're trying to flow.
Good. Mm-hmm. All right, you got another book. Talk to us.
Yes. So see me. So how to see me? Because I plan on doing a live about the testimony. It has been a 7-8 month process of publishing, not writing, just publishing.
Wow.
It has I have had much warfare with publishing this book. I think more warfare than I've ever experienced with publishing anything. And I recognized that it was a birthing process for this book. So See Me is actually taken from the idea during the George Floyd, that whole experience that everybody was having during COVID. This book was written. So you're talking, what's that, 2020? And now we're in 2024, right? So that people understand the process. That means you don't necessarily write a book, bada bing, and you publish it, bada bing, and you start marketing. This has been a 4-year journey. I wrote it because I felt with all of the Karen situations that were happening to my sisters and brothers out here just living their best life in these streets, nobody was really seeing us. And sometimes I still feel that way, even in the legal system, even in the courtroom, even in meetings, in different spheres of influence that I may find myself in, that sometimes I'm not seen. Sometimes I feel like we're invisible, like we might as well blend in with the paint. And I wanted our young girls, specifically because I'm a girl, right? Wanted our young girls to be seen and understand what it means to be seen, right? To be seen means I value on the base level of you being a human being, not being Black human being, not being Latina human being, but being a human being. And I value you. I value you. And so I wanted to give value to our young girls. And so I started writing. And the original writings is in one of those notebooks that I talked about. Then I was like, this should be for children. Because the way that God was giving it to me was so simplistic. I was like, no adult is really going to read this. I was like, well, maybe I can make an inspirational book. And that didn't feel good. That didn't feel like what I was supposed to do. I said, and the children's book kind of made me fearful because I don't have a children's book. I don't know anything about children's book. I'm an adult. I don't know. So I was like, okay. So I did research. I went to the library. I pulled down Black books. I looked on Amazon. I looked on Google. I looked on just the internet. Pulled up all kinds of Black children's books. And I saw the simplicity, but also the impactfulness of what pictures look like in a children's book. It can't just be words. It has to be illustration. So I was like, oh my gosh, how do I do that? I don't know anything about illustrating. I can't draw a straight line, let alone add a line in it and make it a cross. Woo, that's a whole lot of drawing. So, so I was impressed by a young lady, and I've known her mother for years, know her father for years, knew her before she was born. And I saw something she did on TikTok. I think it was on TikTok that I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh, that would be amazing if she could do it for me. My illustrator for See Me is a 14-year-old African-American, beautiful young lady. Her name is Reagan Say, and she's amazing. When I tell you, when you buy this book and remind yourself that this is a 14-year-old illustrator, you are going to be beyond over heels impressed, because her skill set and her gift and ability to draw is on the level of an adult who's been drawing for years. And she's 14. So can you imagine if she's at that skill set now, what she's going to be like, what her skill set's going to be at 20, at 21? Yeah. Like, Disney should be coming looking for her. Pixar needs to come look for her. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I proposed this idea to her mom, and then we had a meeting with her, and she was like, yeah, I can do that. I was like, you can do that? She's like, yeah. And so I began to talk to her about my vision. Again, I can't draw a straight line. And I was like, this is my vision, and just run with it. And I gave her free reign of creativity. And that's something that's also really important. When you're collaborating with someone, you have to give them freedom to be who they are. You have to trust the process. And this process has been, the learning curve is real, Jonathan. When you're talking about all color book, when you're talking about, I don't even know what DPI stands for, but I absolutely know what 300 DPI is. And what it looks like when you blow it up is like, ah. So, the learning curve has been real. And so it's been a, I don't want to say tough process. Zoe wants me to play. You see this ball? She wants me to play. Okay, there's the ball. Okay. But it has been a challenging process of learning and growing and evolving, and also understanding that she's a young lady who just is about to complete her first year of high school, right? So she's got all these new things coming at her. But when she did these pictures, just say it was like during the summer months, right? Or in her leisure. But now when you're talking about production, we're on a time schedule and working around her schedule and understanding how we need to fix this or fix that. And so contractually, I'm a business person upfront. I'm honest, I'm transparent, and I don't try to undercut anybody. I want it to be fair, and I wanted it to be a great learning experience for her. And so we did contracts. We have a contractual agreement, like legitimately reviewed by lawyers. We have a contractual agreement for See Me. So when you buy this book, this is not just something haphazardly that we put together. This is a book that mommies and daughters can sit down and have a good time with. And so I want little girls across the globe to see themselves in all these different worlds and understand that they can be whatever they decide to be and move forward in it. It has words of affirmation in it. It has a task for mommies and daddies to understand what are your kids' talents. Hone in on those talents. Understand what your child is here for. And support that. Foster that as best as you can. Put them in spaces where they can grow and mature. So that's what this book is about. It's about us seeing our little girls bigger than we could ever think of, but them also seeing themselves. So on the front, I'm going to grab it. So I wanted to make sure I had a copy for you, Jonathan. So on the front, you will see, hopefully this will come through. I'm sorry if it's, so on the front, let's see. Is it coming through? Is it too far? There it is.
There it is. That's beautiful.
You will see something in her eyes. You see a crown in her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But on the back, where's the crown?
On her head.
It's on her head. Because she gets it. She gets it.
Wow.
She gets it. And so, yeah, See Me is taken from the scripture, Genesis, I want to give you, I think it's 13. Yeah, 16:13, where Hagar is on the run because Sarai, it has been much towards her, treating her badly, so to speak. And she says, she gave me this name to the Lord who spoke to her. You are the God who sees me. For she said, I have now seen the one who sees me. And so that is the basis of this book, that El Roy or Jehovah Roy, whichever phraseology you want to use, is the God who sees us all. And her name is Skylar. That's my Skylar. Ain't she pretty? She's so pretty.
I love it.
So you can get that book on Amazon in the soft cover. Yeah. Yeah.
Already? It's already. They can get it now.
It's already time? Oh my gosh.
No. I'm saying they can go to Amazon and get it now.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Awesome. And
Yes, yes,
I'm gonna
it's on
put,
Amazon.com.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
put it.
that's only in the soft cover. I am having some hard covers made. Those will be specialties that I'm making. And then additionally, that's coming out is, let me see if this is gonna work. Let me pull it back. Is this book, which is Skylar's coloring and activity book. So
Nice.
this is a proof. That's why it's got that gray line across. This is a proof. And so there's some kinks we need to work out in the coloring book. So that's not up yet, but it will be soon.
And
Give me
the
a couple of
first
weeks.
book that
It'll
is
be
out right now is
on
See Me.
Amazon as well.
It's called See Me.
See Me. Yes. If you type in See Me and then put Kina Arnold, it should come up. And then you're also able to get it at my website as well. So that's KinaArnold.com.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Oh.
Thanks, bro.
All.com. I think I just saw it, right? Didn't I just see it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
KinaArnold.com. I put it under my name. Because sometimes I forget to say it, so.
Love it. So let me ask this, and then we'll get out of here. I wanted to talk about, so a lot of times, just like you had, I think a lot of times people have vision, but they don't know. Like you were blessed to have someone to take that vision and run with it. But I think a lot of us are walking around with vision and not able to do anything because we don't. I don't know. Talk about vision for a moment, if you can.
It's great. Yeah. Yeah, it's great to have a vision or an idea even or an inspiration of something you want to do. I know that you have your consulting business, Jonathan, and they can definitely DM you and you can help them walk through that process. I have my own company, Yahweh Beauty Inc., and I can totally help you to walk through that process. But even like something as simple as something that I do in my business is lifestyle change or grooming, or deciding how you want to dress up. You dress up this vessel that you're in, and you'd be amazed how many people, it's not about whether or not the two purples go together, but how do you see yourself in purple? How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself wearing purple? And so what I do in lifestyle grooming and things of that nature, or wardrobe consulting, is I allow the individual who hires me to go to Google, to look in magazines, to cut out pictures and create their vision board of how they see themselves and how they want to dress. Then we go thrifting, actually. So this is the process. We talk about what you want. You create what you want on a vision board. You show me the vision board. Then you and I meet and we go to a thrift store. Why do I pick a thrift store? Because you can find a variety in there and it's so much easier. And I just let you loose. Like everything you might wink at, it goes in the cart. Everything. And then we go to the dressing room and we put it all together. And so while there's certain things that you can probably get at a thrift store for an economical price, there's some things that you're going to have to spend a little coin on, right? And so we're going to have to go to the mall and eventually go to some stores and spend some extra. But that's part of the process of re-grooming yourself into the image of how you want to show up when you walk into a room or when you're on a Zoom, right? They can see you from the neck up, so you need to know how you want to present yourself. And so even after that, learning about foundations, learning about foundation garments, that's a woman thing. Learning your body shape, your body type, learning about changing your eating habits, and then also learning about seasons of when to go shopping and when to hold your coin and wait for that sale to happen, right? So these are things that I teach, that I help in doing. And so when you ask about vision, that's just the clearest example that I can give, that I do help people understand how to get from A to Z with your vision. It's a process, and everybody's process, there's some similarities, but then there's some differences. There's some differences, and you have to understand what those differences is, and help people understand how to walk those differences out so that you don't have as many pitfalls. I think you can truly tell people about business pitfalls with investments and things of that, Jonathan, right? You can teach me. I don't know anything about those things. So I'm going to go to Jonathan and have him teach me that. I'm not going to tell you, oh, yeah, I know about all of those things. Nobody is a jack of all trades. If they tell you that, they're lying. You can have a speciality in a certain area and hone in on that area. But understand, you've got to reach out and get references for people to help you in achieving your vision. You have to reach out, and you have to give people some creativity room so that they can be their authentic self while they're helping you. So that's what I think about vision. I'm in the process. I've already started my 4th book already. And it's probably going to take me 2 years to write it. I've given myself 2 years to write it. So hit me back in 2027.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
2026, 2027. It's a totally different book too. Totally different.
Oh, Lord.
It's going to take some therapy with this one.
Listen, I told myself I was supposed to, I may be dreaming, but I was supposed to have at least one before the year's out. If I can push out 2, that would just be by God's grace. But I already told you all, I'm close to being perfect. So I don't know. Hey, I can do it. All things through Christ. But yes, another book.
So you got another book in you? Yeah. Come on.
I've started 2 more, but it would take the time. I need to take the time to finish them, and see what God says, and see how we get it out there.
You have to make the time. So you have to, whatever you're writing, whatever your writing time is, specifically, is like working out, because I know you work out. I need to get better at that, but you've got to make the time.
You do. So, well, for a lot of things that we
need. But I'm perfect though. But I'm perfect though.
Listen, we're all on this bus. People are trying to get on, but they ain't made it. But it's okay. It's okay. There's another bus stop up the road.
That's hilarious.
Y'all, I'm just joking about y'all can get on.
We are totally joking. Totally.
Well, before we get out, please let them know. I mean, they can send you wherever they are. I mean, you do conferences, you're, minister, all these things, you're a speaker, you're author. Tell them, how can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, so you can definitely messenger me on Facebook. I check them all. I have several pages. I shudder at giving out an email address because I think I'm up to 8 or 9 email addresses, and they all have different purposes.
Nice.
But one email that I do check all the time is yahwehbeauty1@gmail.com. So that's YAHWEH, B as in boy, EAUTE, the number 1 @gmail.com. I would say messaging me on Facebook would be the easiest for people to absolutely find me. You can also come to my website, www.kinaarnold.com. There's a place for you to contact me there. And for a quicker response, I would say do the messenger. I think that's the quickest response time. And I'm usually really good, like within that week of you sending I'm usually really good about responding within a week. But if it's on Messenger, you might get 24 hours response.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I was just seeing a lot of hateration in the comments section, so we're definitely gonna get out of here. People are just, not feeling, our perfection, but it's okay. It's okay. They'll get there. We're praying for you all. We're praying for you. You gotta have the vision.
I
and then
did.
walk
I
away.
did want to. Right. You got to have the vision. I did want to mention that I do sing with a group called Return of the Command, and we have new music out. So it's wherever, what do they call that? Digital music is sold. So check us out. Return to the Command,
I,
which is a
I find
group
it,
that is spun out of Shekinah Glory.
yeah, because you used to sing with Shekinah Glory too, correct?
Yes. And so there, most of us are former members of Shekinah Glory.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because as we've been having this whole conversation, there's been more and more added on that you do that was not said in your introduction, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the onion and pills. This has been good. Thank you.
I wanted to add that on, yeah, because we've got new music that's going to drop. I think coming this summer, so we'll have some more music that's going to drop. But you'll love it. You'll love it.
I'm sure. I'm sure of it. So please tell us the name of the. I was talking to tell them the name of the group again and what to look for.
So it's Return of the Command, and it's the song is called King of Glory. I didn't say that, but the song is called King of Glory, and it has all of our flavor. So I love singing with my family. Love it, love it, love it. I love singing. I like singing in the background though. I don't like that solo thing.
But you can.
But
You
I love that. I don't think I'm a soloist. I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay.
That's not my thing. See, you got to know your lane. That's not my lane. Yeah, Shekinah Glory. Love my fam. Shekinah Glory Live. Praise is what I do. Yes, all those good things. Those are wonderful, wonderful music from a time well spent in His presence. And so we're continuing on singing together, and Shekinah Glory still exists at Valley Kingdom Ministries International. It's under new pastoralship, but it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to see the evolution of the group. And so, yeah, so support both. They have new music too. They have new music as well, so definitely support them as well.
Awesome. Well, I definitely want to thank you again for coming on and giving us your time tonight, and great conversation. And I pray that the books go to the roof in sales. I hope you all go to Amazon and pick up See Me, correct? See Me.
Yeah, See Me.
That's right. See Me by Kina Arnold. Go get it today because it's already released. And then we need to be looking forward to the workbook later.
Yes, the activity coloring book. Give me a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Just some kinks we need to work out. I'm a perfectionist. But I don't want to give out bad product, right? And if it's something that's bothersome to me, it'll be bothersome to something else and so somebody else. And so I just want to put out the best product, and that our kiddos will enjoy. I want them to see excellence so that they'll be excellent. They can't see what they can't be. And so if you want them to do things, you have to put them in environments that foster that. You can't expect it to come out of the sky. That's not how it works. We function with relationships. And so I thank my brother, Jonathan Davis, for having me. Thank you so much for having me. We appreciate you.
You are so welcome. I'm glad you're feeling much better.
Yes, we're grateful for that. I'm glad you're feeling much better too.
Yes, me too. Just so everybody know, I mean, she and I both were dealing with illness last week, and it was rough. It was definitely rough, and
And see, you were gonna press through too.
I
See,
was, I
see,
was.
balance, balance.
I said, you
Yeah,
know what? I can
balance.
suck it up for an hour, and if she's ready, I'll go for it. And then you were like, "Can we reschedule?" I said, "You know what, God? I will do so. I will do so." I got right back in the bed. So yeah, all is well. All is well. But and I want to thank the audience, those that were in agreement with us being perfect, and those that even
No,
weren't.
you cannot
And
end on that.
I like to have a good time with my audience, especially those that have been with me since day one. But they know,
Awesome. And
I'm grateful.
congratulations.
Yes, thank you,
Congratulations to you on today is your day. I love it. I love
thank
it.
you, thank you.
I love
It was a
it.
God
That's my
idea.
takeaway. I love it.
He told me to do it, and oh, this is what I did want to start by saying. Tell me what when you hear today, and then we'll get out of here. When you hear today is your day, what does that mean to you?
Today is your day. When I hear it, when I see it, as now, what I think about is there's a new evolution of who you can be today. And so,
Mm,
how I show up, maybe I showed up bad yesterday, but today is a new day. It's a new start, it's a new beginning. And so, as they say, that's why it's called the present, because it's a gift to us to have a new day. And so, today is your day to start again, to start afresh. So, maybe you had a gazillion visions in a notebook, you know, I advise and implore you to pull them out because there may be something in there that I need to read to get me past a hard moment. And if you never put it out there, then I'll never have that inspiration, that wisdom, that guidance, that understanding, that revelation that you were supposed to give. God will give a remnant to put in its place. But why does God always have to do remnants? He wants the original. He wants the one that is you. So that's what I think of as today is your day.
that
I
was
love it.
awesome. That was awesome. That's longer than what I normally say, but I love it. I love it. But it was good. That was good. That I was definitely. I was like, no. I felt like God told me to say, start asking people on the show, like, what do they when they hear that? What does that mean? That was good, and I hope people heard that. Class lead Spillman says, "Come on and drop the mic." That's what I'm talking about.
Drop the mic.
That's what I'm talking about. That's just good. Again,
Awesome.
thank
Nice
you.
to
You are
meet you,
more than
Classy.
welcome. You're more than welcome to come back on the show anytime. We would love to have you again. We thank Dr. Kina uh,
Awesome.
for coming on the Today Is Your Day show. I want to thank my wonderful audience who is always enjoyable, even if they're not on the same bus with me. And I still appreciate you all. But like I always say, and just to ditto what she said and add on to it, it doesn't have to be your birthday for today to be your day.